Welcome to the Clark County Fire District 6 Board of Commissioners meeting and workshop. It is April 20th, 2021. We are going to do the workshop first. When that's done, we'll immediately go into the board meeting. So I'll turn it over to Chief Maurer.
Thank you, Commissioner. So as the board knows, the district has transitioned from a volunteer firefighter program to a this program. With COVID, our timeline on that has been a little delayed, but we're ready to start moving forward with that. The purpose of this program is for the district to identify risks in the community, and then this program will help mitigate those risks through a targeted risk reduction program. We're fortunate to have former volunteer firefighters that continue to serve the community and the districts with this new program. 11 of those have maintained their EMT certification, and one's going to stay on but drop their EMT. We're going to have Captain Grant and PIO Dave Schmicke present a video and a PowerPoint to go over what we envision this program doing for the district. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Dave Schmicke, and we'll watch the video.
So we've been talking about this support service
Dave,
program here at Clark County Fire District 6. But what does that really mean? What kind of services are we going to be able to provide to the community? And how are we going to staff this program? There's a lot of questions. Good news is we've got some answers. Let's start talking about station and engine tours. Yeah, we do them. In fact, we go to the schools for kindergarten and 4th grade. But what about this idea? Using a designated bay and engine in Station 62. That'd be helpful, especially for the pre-K groups that we get in the summer. This way, even while duty crews get a call, the tour can continue with the volunteers. And we've identified at least 2 other groups that we could partner with to help enhance our services to the community. During the open house, the Trauma Nurses Talk Tough group hosts the low-cost helmet program. Well, what about opening a bay and giving them the space they need anytime during the summer? We could use our volunteers to host and ensure kids and adults don't just run amok in the station. Same thing goes for car seats. Now, car seat fitting certification requires 80 hours of training. That's not feasible for our members or volunteers. But if we were to offer a bay as a host, groups like Safe Kids Clark County could provide the service, and we would provide volunteers to ensure clients stay in the bay in a safe area. All right, let's talk smoke detectors. Currently, our smoke detector program consists of citizens calling up and either stopping by to pick up a detector, or an active duty crew will stop by their home to install batteries or drop off a new detector. With support service volunteers, we want to expand this program to have volunteers actively canvassing pre-identified neighborhoods, knocking on doors, meeting with neighborhood associations, and offering free smoke detectors to those in need. We have a series of outreach programs in mind. We aim to train volunteers to make presentations for senior groups about senior, fire, and life safety, large apartment complexes about apartment safety, and provide individual homeowner home safety tours when requested. Of course, support service volunteers would also be utilized in some of our reoccurring favorite events like the open house, parade of bands, poster contest, walk and knock, and Santa's posse. At the time of this video, we have about 11 former combat volunteer firefighters that remain certified. So they could continue to provide EMT coverage for all of our April events. You know, the Kleinline Kids Fishing Derby, Earth Day, and the Home and Garden Idea Fair. All right, let's talk about money. What kind of budget are we talking about? Well, in general terms, for clothing, training, and career overtime, we estimate a total of about $800 per volunteer. That's to get started. Speaking of just getting started, we're firm believers in the phrase, walk before you run. With that in mind, we thought we would get the ball rolling with this program by utilizing our current volunteers. Then as we get the infrastructure, the support materials, and the training we believe we'll need, we're going to reach out to folks who have graduated from CERT programs in the past, thinking that they're probably fairly community-minded. After that, to recruit for this position, we would use our reader boards and our strong social media presence. District 6 has a long history of volunteer involvement. You already know that. While the face of our volunteer program is evolving, we want to ensure that volunteerism remains alive and well, dedicated to excellence in protecting and serving our community.
Thanks to Dave Schmicky for producing that video. Now I'm going to turn it over to Captain Grant, who has a PowerPoint to go through with more information.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, Board. So the presentation that we just saw covered a lot of the material, and I'm going to hit on some of the high points and then take questions as appropriate. And if I don't have an answer for you, then I'll just I'll let you know that, and I'll defer to Chief Maurer for her input on that. But the program, transitioning from an active volunteer program that is staffing a station and running emergencies, is really going to help us on the backside, that pre-emergency setup. So transitioning from 911 call responders to helping us reduce the number of 911 calls we get up front is our goal with this program. So transitioning with the COVID crisis that has taken place, it's really kind of put us in a position where we've got a lot of material ready to move forward. We're just waiting for that opportunity for us to get back together. And with that, our current volunteers are currently maintaining their EMT certification through the training division with Captain Simica. And the transition to that program, as soon as we're able to meet again, we'll be picking up through here. Okay, traditionally, our program has worked in conjunction with our career duty crews. But as you guys see our numbers and our out of service times based on incidents, it kind of leaves us in alerts sometimes where we're scrambling to maintain accountability in our stations and or a presence at some of these very worthwhile events. So that's where our support service volunteers are going to be really helping us out. They'll be able to come in, still be able to represent the face of the fire department in the absence of our duty crews, but also be able to continue on that fire message without us interrupting duty crews throughout the day and reducing our response times. Our smoke detector programs are pretty consistent with most fire agencies. However, we're not very active in the community and finding out who needs them. For the most part, our current smoke detector program through our open house or somebody coming by the station to see if a smoke detector is available. Occasionally we'll get a phone call through the administrative office to come out to check people's homes to install smoke detectors. And that's kind of a tough time too to schedule a smoke detector visit at somebody's home when we're still hoping to be able to provide a non-interrupted service to them by responding on calls and then being late, because it's important that we identify our emergent and non-emergency needs to our community. And this is a non-emergent need, but if we can schedule it and put our support volunteers in place to be able to respond out within a 24-hour period to help, it would be a great benefit to the department. Looking at our data numbers, we do have several 55 and older communities that we don't really spend a lot of time with. However, they are a very supportive group of our voters. The other program aspect of our support volunteers is to transition into helping educate them about fire and life safety issues. We've got some great programs through Fire Safe Seniors, as well as through the NFPA, that will allow us to train our personnel internally to be able to go out and meet with these community members. When we look at our risk reduction with our support volunteers, it's going to allow us to hit the street with these pre-fire reduction plans, helping with smoke detectors, fire extinguisher training or other activities that will help them understand the risks, one, in their own home or in their communities, but also help prepare them in case they do come across an emergency to reduce the potential of injuries. The aspect of having our staff being available throughout the business days, Monday through Friday, on occasion when we have vacations and or sick leaves or extended absences, we do have some holes that need to be filled there administratively. So our support service volunteers can also come in and help us with some of the administrative functions that take place, preparing board packets, answering phones, and just helping around the station as well, and any other administrative capacities that we have. Currently, we have 2 people that help with the Youth Fire Center Intervention Program. That is PIO Schmecke and firefighter paramedic Culver. They are actively involved. However, with additional assistance, we could have a much more stronger program in this aspect as well. The community events that we do host internally with our open house and parade of bands and Kleinline and the other things, the fire department's been active for years. Having a dedicated group of public education, fire prevention personnel assisting with these will allow us to present a stronger message to the community, as well as provide some more focused education in these events. And also partnering with the groups that PIO Schmecke identified with the Safe Kids Clark County and our friends and partners over at Legacy Salmon Creek with the trauma nurses will really help us get the message out, trauma prevention, and helping with every age group in our community. Again, the events that we've traditionally hosted off-site, such as roller derbies, the fishing derby, and the garden and idea fair, having our EMT personnel that are members of support service will allow us to provide a quick response, as well as provide information about the fire district and fire prevention and safety to people at those events. So it really gives us, it puts our face in these public events as well. So again, through the fair and the other programs, the open house, helping with Santa's Posse and that is just a great opportunity for us to be even more engaged with our community members, with a group of people that are destined for us to be successful. They love their community and they want to have an opportunity to get back, and this is a great opportunity to provide them some training. We provide them some uniforms, and they're able to get out there and really engage with their neighbors, which are all our supporters. So that is a brief overview of the program. Here is a quick idea of a budget. Obviously, as we move forward, it would be more defined. So with that, do you have any questions? It would be more
Am I there? I don't know if I'm on or not. Are you
Yes,
there,
sir.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
First of all, it was a great presentation. I like the idea. 2 quick questions. The current volunteers we have, is there a potential start date for them? And then I'm just wondering what kind of uniforms we're going to put on these people at that cost.
So what we would be doing is starting with an orientation. We have an idea of the services that we would like to expand on, but once we get a strong meeting with the administrative staff, with Chief Maurer, and we can really project where this COVID is keeping us, as the numbers, as we know, change on a daily basis. We're prepared to move forward with the group, but we just want to make sure it's safe for everybody to get started.
So if I could add to that, Commissioner Losbeck, we've continued training for the current volunteers that we hold. And then they're also available for events right now. So like if the Fairgrounds vaccination clinic weren't filled, that would go to the volunteer cadre. So the ones that we have staff now we've kept, we can roll those in a little bit quicker. And then to make additions to the program, we would wait for COVID. But we can start rolling out some of the stuff with the current volunteer cadre. The reason why you see the uniforms at the high rate they are is it was important to me, and I think it's important to the board, because these are public events. This is the face of our department, and so we want to put them in the same uniforms that the firefighters have now, because really when they're out in the public, people don't differentiate them from District 6. So that's why you see that high cost. But with that in mind, the cost per volunteer startup at $800 is about the cost of 5 to 6 fire suppression volunteers that we were putting on. So it seems high, but it's drastically reduced from a fire service volunteer. And again, that's to get them the same look and presence that the district has in the community.
Perfect. I like it. Thank you.
Grant, Chris Pfeiffer here. Thank you for the great program tonight, and the PowerPoint and video were excellently put together. A couple questions for you. With a total of around 12 volunteers that we currently have, what's the vision for the program total numbers wise? I understand the idea of starting with the current core group of volunteers to start with, but is there a vision for total size of the program?
Yeah, a conversation with Chief Schmidt earlier this evening. The number we'd be looking at target-wise would be about 30 personnel.
Okay, perfect. I really appreciate the emphasis on the risk reduction component. I feel like that's an area where we can really see some improvement with the sort of targeted areas of our community with that. Is there a plan in place to track the number of contacts the support volunteers have with community members, or smoke detector installs, or that sort of thing? It would be a really accurate way to measure the program, a year from now or beyond. Is there something like that can be in place?
Absolutely. We will actually track all of our contacts and any events that we're involved with. Any smoke detectors that go out also, those will be documented appropriately, as would our bicycle helmets.
Okay, perfect. And what about an application process for adding folks to the program? Is there a process for that in place, or will there be, or what's the idea with that?
Chief, do you want to take this?
Sure. So we currently have the application open on our external webpage. That's just the information, and we actually have some applicants in the queue that are just waiting for us to bring them on. But with the volunteers, we do it just like we did when they were fire volunteers. There's a background check, a driver's record check, and then we wouldn't do the medical physical for this group like we did for the firefighters. But other than that, they get the same background.
Okay, great. That's what I was looking for. So, thank you.
Chief, I know that we can't register them as with the state volunteer folks. We tried that route. Will they be covered through our VSIS insurance, or how are we going to insure them?
Yeah, so there is a small amount of coverage for them and then as far as like driving vehicles and that stuff, they would just be covered under the district CFIS that we have for vehicles.
But if they fall off the ladder doing a smoke detector, are they covered somehow through the district, or is that their own responsibility?
No, that we're working with VFIS to keep them on there.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My next.
Hello, sir.
Commissioner Collins here. A couple of things that I may have missed that I wanted to ask. Is there a rank and file to this program?
We don't envision a rank and file. These would be all support services volunteers, and then they would fall under the training captain assigned to the program, which at this point is Captain Grant. Then Chief Schmidt is the admin in charge of the program, and Dave Schmidtke will help us with the identifying the programs and scheduling and that kind of stuff.
So there'll be no seniority considered in this?
No, and we haven't really done that with, the volunteer program in the past either. It, we're lucky if we get people to sign up, and we traditionally don't ever have too many. So, I guess if we had to access both Captain Grant and Schmidtke could work through that process and assign them equitably.
Yeah, I was just curious. We did have captains and we had lieutenants at one point, and that was through accolade that were achieved in the program. I just want to know if this is going to be all one level. Nobody has any authority over anybody else except for Captain Grant, or what?
So all one level. With this type of program, we don't need the incident command staff, so it's
Right.
all one level. But there may be people that specialize in certain programs for sure, and they could assign people to develop programs and that kind of stuff. But there is no rank.
Right. It seems like in any organization, there's always a power struggle, and whether it's okay, we're all the same. We report to Captain Grant. That's just that. Hey, that'd be great if that works. But it seems so. There's a seniority entitlement or that type of thing that may come into the culture, and I was just curious how you're going to handle that.
Well, that's not the plan at this point, but we're fluid. It's a new program, so we'll always be constantly evaluating it. And if there is a need, we'll make adjustments.
I don't want to make a problem when there's not a problem, but I just thought I'd ask that. On the last page, talks about the program budget, and it doesn't say anything about stipends. Are these going to be stipend actions?
So this isn't a stipend program, but the perks of this program are it's really hard in Washington right now for individuals affiliated and maintain their EMT. So we provide that EMT training at no cost to the individuals. And then the buffer of the uniform equipment to be exactly what career staff wear. We feel like those are perks to the position. And this is really a position to serve the community. It's a true volunteer position.
Oh, yeah. But a stipend's not intended to make money. It's to reimburse you for your time. So, anyway, I'm sure you thought of it all. I just didn't see it in the budget. So, therefore, that's why. Okay, I'm done.
Quick question for maybe Dave Schmidtke. When we start using social media or whatever to advertise that we're looking for these types of people, are you going to look for any, maybe look for some specific folks that speak foreign language? We have a Spanish population, Hispanic. We've got some Russian folks that don't speak English much that are in our district. And just wondering if you're going to try to reach out to any of those sorts of things.
Hang on 1 second. We lost the chief here for a second.
Hi, Dave.
Okay, got you back. Let me merge you in here.
Yeah, I
we
need
go.
to add Schmidtke and Chris again, though.
You can just. I was just curious. You can just pass that on to me.
I'm sorry, I missed the question, though.
As far as trying to recruit specific folks for specific needs, like maybe some volunteers that speak several different foreign languages, that would help us in some instances. That's just a suggestion. I didn't,
Yeah, no, I think that's all part of the risk reduction and risk identification. So once we get those risks identified, then we can campaign with kind of individuals.
Okay, thank you.
Were there any further questions?
None here. Thank you.
None here. Thank you.
None here. There was a great presentation. Thank you. So with that said, Is everybody okay if I move forward with our regular meeting?
Please do.
Bet.
Okay. The workshop is over, and I'm going to call our regular meeting to order and call for any additions to the agenda.
None here.
None here.
Thank you. Correspondence says none. Is that correct? Okay. Citizen communication. This is the time during our meeting we set aside for any citizens that may want to communicate with the board or the fire district. On YouTube, there's a chat area. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to put those in the chat. And we have folks that are monitoring that. If it comes up during the meeting, we can go back and answer those at some point. So feel free to do that. Community reports, health and safety.
So I have Chief Russell on the line, and he'll give you the health and safety report.
Good evening, board. Nice to talk to you. It's been a long time. Quickly through our injury reports, the safety committee met recently. That report is in your packet. Just a lot of bumps and bruises since the last report, so I'll run through those quickly. Firefighters suffered a shin abrasion, missing a step on an apparatus, some abdominal pain after lifting a heavy extrication tool, shoulder pain when a 35-foot ladder halyard failed, neck pain while training, and knee pain while working out, shoulder pain while training, and a knee pain while training. None of these injuries resulted in any sort of time loss or claim filed at this point. Exposures, we had one firefighter write up a smoke exposure secondary to a car fire after the wind shifted before masking up. In our shift reports, an issue was brought forward regarding turnout inspections and the restricted use of Northwest Safety Clean. What we've done as far as Northwest Safety Clean, we're still using them for our annual inspections and repairs, but as far as our daily maintenance and washing of turnouts that are normally soiled from fires, we're using our in-station washers. So the logistics division will be rolling out a new SOG regarding care and maintenance and outline those things for all members. We have experienced 2 Halyard failures in the past couple of weeks. This is something that we've never experienced before. These were 35-foot ladders. There has been no documented halyard replacement. They were ladders from 2006 engine purchases. Since that time, logistics has helped, with the help of some line folks, specifically Calder Russell has been really instrumental in getting all of our ladders, halyards replaced, and logistics is working currently on getting those logged into Operative IQ, and we'll probably plan like a 5-year replacement with that. We do have a small work group put together to research best practices and halyard materials to see if there's something we can do better there. The safety committee also discussed an issue regarding the damage of equipment after live fire training in our new tower. Moving forward, the training division, they hold safety briefings before every burn. However, they're going to really emphasize, the people helping out with the burn, manning doors and that sort of thing, just kind of giving them areas to watch out, because there's nothing in those burn rooms that absorb heat, and so we've damaged a little bit of equipment. They'll also assist in a post-burn equipment inspection to ensure the equipment's not put back in service if it is damaged. And that's the end of my report, unless there's any questions.
None here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's no parade report, risk management board, or fire facility board report. I believe I forgot to mention the minutes. So we need to read and approve the minutes of the April 6th meeting.
Move for approval. Post as necessary.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, gentlemen. I skipped over that. On the consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved in and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Thank you, folks. Thank you, gentlemen. Chief report. Just go on down the line, Chief, please.
So for the March 2021 overtime report, it's tracking at $118,514.20. You'll see most of that is in shift replacement overtime at $86,000 and some change. A lot of that shift replacement and called in overtime is for the Fairgrounds vaccination clinic that will be reimbursed by DOH at some point. And right now we're tracking just a little over $60,000 for reimbursement. We haven't seen any of that yet, but we anticipate we will get it soon.
So I just stop you. We have not seen any reimbursement from the state yet on any of the overtime?
We have not on the overtime. They had a 30-day timeline to reimburse the district. They are past that. So I'm in contact with them to get some timelines for when they think they may reimburse us.
Okay, I know the fairgrounds hadn't been reimbursed yet either, so they're probably just slow, but I was just curious. It's been a while. Thank you.
You're welcome. Then for the March 2021 budget performance report, on a general fire suppression, the anticipated expenditures should be just under 25% at 24.9. We have expended 15.2% out of the general fund. For 6242 EMS, the anticipated expenditures again would be 24.9, and we have expended 21.7. Well, in our budget. There is no facilities report tonight. In your packet is the COVID report for Cook County. We're starting to pick up a little bit again with COVID cases.
Anything else, Chief?
That's it for the Chief's report.
Any questions for the Chief before we move on?
None here.
Thank you. Old business, it shows we don't have any old business. Any old business that needs to be brought up?
Well, I saw on the agenda or the calendar that our first in-person meeting is going to be in May. That's going to be at Station 61. Is that correct?
We're hoping.
Okay, so at this time it's going to be in person at 6-1, correct?
We asked the Chief to look at the requirements to be able to do that. She felt comfortable that we could. There will be some restrictions, spacing, the amount of people that can attend. Chief, can you give us a little update? Are we still good to go for May 4th?
We are still good to go for May 4th live. We will have to still broadcast the meeting because we won't be able to have citizens from the public with the amount of people that we'll have with just the board and Mackenzie. We'll still do the live stream, but we will be in person.
At 6-1.
At 6-1.
We talked about maybe trying to pull off at 6-3, but that's not going to happen.
Right now, Station 6-3 has a pretty large contingent of personnel, so 6-1s are a better option at this point.
That's fine. That's fine. We talked about it. No one became a no go on that deal.
Any other old business? We're moving on to new business. Workshop May 4th.
And there is an error in the Chief's report. We switched the support services volunteer program to tonight. So staff would like to present a workshop on May 4th with McKinney to discuss the Station 61 remodel. So we would need to schedule that workshop.
I think that's a good one to do in person. So we can all be in the same room. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I would agree. What's the proposed time of start on that thing? 5:30?
We've traditionally started at 5:30. It's up to the board. This one may take longer than 30 minutes, but if you're comfortable starting the meeting after, we can still start at 5:30.
I'm fine with that. I'll make a motion to that effect. We have a support workshop at 5:30 at Station 61 on May 4th.
Second.
Moving and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, just regular to follow.
Excuse me?
Just a regular meeting to follow the workshop.
Yes. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Any other new business that's not listed or that I skipped? Hearing or seeing none. No need for an executive session. Roundtable, good of order.
Did you guys have any problems getting rooms up in Tulalip?
Jordan is still working on securing us some rooms. So
They were slim pickings when I checked.
Yeah, all the rooms were gone within 3 days, but Jordan's working on getting our people at the Tulalip. So we just got our confirmations today from the board, so I would assume in the near future the chief will probably hear something.
Yeah, mine's locked in for sure. If somebody can't go or can't get a room, I have an option, and I can take trailer trash out in the parking lot. They can have my room.
Okay. Well, Sammy's there Thursday night, I think. So I'll go to the order. Most of you probably know, but Seifert, commissioner with District 6 from 1981 to 1991, passed away. And there'll be a celebration of life Saturday out at the day from 1 to 4. Anybody interested in going? I'm gonna go. I talked to his daughter Kate, and I'm gonna speak on behalf of the district. So if anybody has anything they want me to say, let me know.
Very good. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate that.
And Commissioners, we will post that to our external and internal webpage and our social media tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure that we recorded it to the board prior to doing.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Brad. Is the bell rung at the commission conference front?
I don't know. I've been talking to Roger every day. We'll figure that out. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I would imagine it's appropriate.
And then the other because of HIPAA, but Commissioner Bob Johnson from Park Calix Fire District's not doing well, so send positive thoughts his way too, please.
Oh no! Oh, so sad to hear that. I guess Chief Maurer, if there's any in him being able to attend FFFB or something like that, I don't know if they can send an alternate or whatever.
I'll touch base with Chief Knorr and see what they need.
Yeah, definitely send our best over there.
One more go to the order, if the board's okay with that.
Yeah.
So we have a member go in for knee replacement surgery today. I'll call them after this meeting and check in on their status, but open for a speedy recovery. And then we had another member that you probably saw on the news that got bit by a African serval cat and is recovering fine. So.
Do we have another member going in on the 22nd for knee replacement also, or is that the same individual?
It was today. Yeah, same
Okay.
individual.
Okay. I saw something he sent out to TRT, and I thought it was the 22nd. Okay. Perfect. Is there any other new business? Roundtable, go to the order. Did any questions come in on the chat?
No questions
No,
on the
I'm
chat.
sure glad we got Station 63 built before that plywood went up in price.
Yeah, really. Okay, hearing none, we need to authorize April issuance of payroll warrants, authorize April payroll direct deposit, authorize deposit of federal and FICA med withholding, authorize pre-authorization invoice transmittal, and authorize payment of current bills.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen. And with that said, the meeting is adjourned.
Everybody be safe. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.